Hi everyone and welcome to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse. Today we're going to continue with our 5-part series on the Very Good Food Company, aka Very Good Butchers, when we try to figure out if this is a 10x company or more using my 5 criteria. Do they have a grand vision? Do they have a superior product? Do people love their product? Do they have an advantage competitive wise? And finally, do they have a strong CEO and management team? This is the second video in the series. Do they have a superior product? If you haven't already seen the first part, make sure you don't miss it. I'll put it up on the top right corner and also in the end screen. But before we get into that, if you want to be part of investing in the plant-based space, want to have an opportunity to gain a lot of profits but still be part of making the planet more sustainable, then subscribe to the channel, as I will keep you updated on VRYYF and other plant-based companies. I would also appreciate an early thumbs up since it will help the channel grow and reach a larger audience. Thank you guys, I really appreciate your support. Now, if we take a quick look at the stock chart, ticker symbol VRYYF, it's at 7:15 at the time of the recording. And as we can see, the last 2 weeks or so, it's been going down and falling down. But not to worry, it's probably, as always, related with this stock to there not being enough news in the last 12 days. So the second criteria that needs to be met in order to conclude if this could be a 10x company or more is, do they have a superior product? That could mean different things, of course, and depends on what we compare with. Well, if we first compare it to traditional meat items, I would definitely argue that their products are superior, especially if we're talking from a health perspective. At the moment, various core items is hamburgers and sausages, meaning that the meat equivalent would be red meat. I don't think there would be many people out there today who would argue that red processed meat is healthy. There aren't many things out there that would promote cancer and heart disease more than red processed meat. Now, if we also add the sustainability perspective, there is also little to argue with. There is nothing else on this planet that creates more havoc from a sustainability perspective than animal agriculture. You might not take my word for it, but you might be inclined to take the word of organizations such as the UN and their top researchers, beginning with the Long Shadow reports back in 2006, and other organizations such as the World Watch and many others. They have been stating the obvious for years now. From a climate change perspective, global greenhouse gas emissions due to livestock stands for 51%. Everyone seems worried about driving their cars, yet the whole transport sector, meaning cars, airplanes, trains, and ships, only stand for about 13 to 18% of the global emissions. And that is only talking about the CO2. If we move into nitrous oxide emissions, which livestock is responsible for 65%, nitrous oxide is almost 300% more destructive than CO2, yet most people don't even mention that. This could be an ongoing discussion where we bring in water usage, deforestation, land use, species extinction. The simple fact is that growing plants, beans and lentils, vegetables, and most form of plant-based food requires a lot less resources from the planet than both meat and dairy. So yes, the Very Good Butchers products are far superior in comparison to meat. Guys, I'm interested in hearing your opinions on this. Please comment down below. This takes us to another comparison, and that is with other plant-based products. There are plenty of meat alternatives already, yet their health profile is much to be desired, bearing in mind that they are often heavily processed. It is here that VRYYF does shine. Yes, it is still a processed item, yet it differs quite a lot on how processed it is. If we take a look at a Beyond Meat item, let's have a look at the ingredient list. Water, pea protein, expeller pressed canola oil, refined coconut oil, rice protein, natural flavors, cocoa butter, mung bean protein. Not exactly healthy whole plant-based food. And I would say that this is quite typical when it comes to a lot of fake meats. It is usually isolated protein. Now let's have a look at the Very Good Butchers ingredient list, especially their burgers. Wheat gluten, onion, organic black beans, organic mushrooms, barley, apple juice, organic carrots, organic beets. So, organic wheat, onion, organic black beans, and mushrooms, the first four items. As you might know, the ingredient list is always listed in order from what it contains most of. Those four ingredients are whole food and not isolated or processed food, even though the food is still somewhat processed. So, from a health perspective, nutritional value, I would easily argue that the very good butcher's items are superior to many plant based meat alternatives. As stated on their home page, our mission is to employ plant based food technology to create products that are delicious while maintaining a wholesome nutritional profile. At the Very Good Food Company, we believe that making good choices doesn't mean sacrificing flavor or giving up the things you love. That's why we are hell bent on developing and manufacturing a range of plant based products that will satisfy your taste buds and nourish your body. Guys, let's have some interaction going. What is your opinion on this? And tell me, has anyone tried their products? So, this is basically real food and a lot of whole food, which is what a lot of the health community actually screams after. So, in my opinion, these products will most likely gain an even greater acknowledgement, and the demand will increase as we move into a future that has a larger population of health conscious people. If I do see another plant based company that could challenge them somewhat in this field in the long term, it would most likely be the Tattoo Chef company. They do have a couple of 100% fully plant based dishes that do comparatively have a pretty decent health outlook. If we take a look at their acai bowl, organic acai puree, organic bananas, organic strawberries, organic blueberries, organic coconut milk. But at the moment, I wouldn't worry about that, considering that Tattooed Chef is only focused on the frozen section at the moment. And another larger aspect is also, I don't think a person who has a craving for a burger or a sausage would choose between fake meat alternatives or an acai bowl or zucchini noodles. Yes, the chef has started to produce a few meat alternatives, like their cauliflower pizza bowl with their alternative pepperoni, but that's when they start losing their whole foods approach, using isolated protein, but even worse, using dairy in their different cheeses. Not exactly health promoting foods. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that the Tattoo Chef is a great long term investment, and as I have stated in prior videos, they are a 10x company, if not even a generational company. But in my honest opinion, the world is heading towards a more fully plant based direction, considering that dairy, like meat, is not health promoting or sustainable from an environmental perspective. I do expect Sarah Galetti to actually come up with dairy alternatives in the future. So, to sum this up, do the Very Good Food Company have a superior product? I would have to say that yes, in most comparisons, they certainly do. When we compare their products to traditional meat items, such as hamburgers and sausages, it is a no brainer from a health perspective, but also from a sustainability perspective. Now, does it get more tricky when we compare their products with other plant based companies? In most cases, I would argue no. As we know by now, most plant based alternatives are out there, might be better for you than traditional processed meat items. Yet, that doesn't equate with them being good for you, right? Several of these are highly processed food items that should not be eaten on a daily basis. From a whole foods approach, I believe that Very has few challenges at the moment. Tattoo Chef might be one of these few, but they aren't really competing in the same sector at the moment, so I don't see that as a problem yet. Likewise, something that I often do highlight on this channel, I do believe that there are ample room for the few plant-based companies that are currently out there. I don't understand this need to constantly put them against each other, since in the end, I think the real competition is the traditional meat and dairy industry, and that is industries that I believe are more threatened than most people seem to acknowledge, especially long term. So, guys, that is two checked boxes out of 5 so far that Very has in its pros section regarding if they are a 10x company or more. If you want to be notified when the third criteria comes out, make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to also push the bell button, otherwise, you won't actually get your notifications. If you found a lot of value in today's video, make sure to smash that like button. And as always, people, this is not financial advice. These are just my own opinions and thoughts. Please invest safe and do your own due diligence. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for today. Peace out.